Hey guys, Hackersploit here, back again with another video, and welcome back to the Metasploit course. Now in this video we're going to be looking at information gathering with the Metasploit framework, more specifically the Metasploit console. Alright, so let's get started. Now just prerequisite, I have a virtual machine. I have the Metasploitable 2 virtual machine running, and I'm just going to be using it as a kind of a target system for illustration purposes. You know, I like to create a lab, and that's what keeps my videos, stay within the range of legality. So again, I'm just demonstrating how this all works. Alright, so information gathering. More specifically, for example, we can look at using the Nmap. We can look at using how to use Nmap to perform port scanning. We can look at how to scan for SSH services. So we'll look at all of that. So you might be confused and you might be asking yourself, well, how is this even possible? Right? Now, again, using a framework like Metasploit to perform information gathering it tends to keep things in a modularized fashion. All right. Now, what I mean is let's say you're dealing with a target directly. All right. So this is a fantastic way of using for frameworks like Nmap, for example, to perform port scanning in this case, which is what we're going to do. All right. So I already have my Metasploit the MSF console open here, and it's really very simple, right? Like if I wanted to perform an Nmap scan, let's say we had we already have a target, right? And again, I'm going to use the Metasploit 2 IP address here. So let me just get that up. Again, it is bridged to my adapter. So there we are, 192.168.1.107. Okay, so that is going to be the bridged. It's bridged to my network. That means they're all going to be on the same network. All right. So for those of you having trouble with that, that's how to fix that issue where you can detect it on the same network. All right. So I could perform a simple port scan on Nmap. So I would say Nmap just as you would. All right. Nmap. And then I would use the commands S and capital T. What these commands do, I'm pretty sure you already know them. It initiates the three-way handshake and will essentially just detect the open ports on the target machine. Now, the target machine being Metasploitable 2, it'll have a lot of open ports. All right, so 192.168.1.107. Okay, and we're going to start that, and it'll just open up the Nmap framework, and there we are. Those are the results. So you can see all the ports that are open, probably all of them. We have your FTP, SSH, Telnet. You have your login, your MySQL, etc., etc. Right now, that's pretty cool. You know that we can actually use the Nmap framework in information gathering, right? So I'm pretty sure you guys already know how to use Nmap, but I'm going to show you one more command because a lot of people ask me this, and this is when a site has probably a firewall and you want to perform a stealth scan. All right, so a stealth scan essentially allows you what it'll do is really it'll give you a connection between the target and the scanner. All right, so it'll give you the ability to perform it in a more promiscuous manner, while still maintaining, I don't know how to explain this. It'll not do it in more of a direct way. So the target will not recognize it so much as a scan. All right. So in order to do this, we're going to obviously use the Nmap, and we use the commands, the SS. All right. So a small s and a large S. I'm pretty sure if you're familiar with the syntax, you know what this means. And again, we'll just target the system. And again, Metasploitable 2 not being, very, very secured, it should return us, there we are, really, really quickly. All right. So that's if you want to perform a stealth scan. All right. So that's very, very interesting. Now, looking at the other type of information gathering that we can, carry out, we can actually use auxiliaries. We can use the auxiliary modules, or the scanner modules that come with Metasploit. All right. So you might be asking yourself, well, what do you mean exactly? Well, what I mean is we can actually use the inbuilt modules that come with Metasploit, or in the form of auxiliaries where you have your scanners, as I explained in the previous video. They allow you to use the inbuilt scanners, which are considered to be information gathering tools. Now, probably not a lot of you guys have actually used this, and that's fine. It's really very simple to do, and that's what we're going to do now. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate this. Let me just clear the console. I'm going to demonstrate this very simply using the SSH scanner. All right. So this is an inbuilt scanner that comes with Metasploit. I'm pretty sure probably most of you have gone through it. It's it's taught, very early when you're using the Metasploit framework. All right. So essentially what it'll do, it'll allow you to detect the SSH versions that are running on a target. Okay. So if you don't know what SSH means, SSH is secure shell. All right. It essentially uses cryptography and authentication, to connect between two computers, as a connection between two computers, right? So let's get started. Now, we're going to be using the auxiliary called SSH version. All right. So I'll show you how to do this in a few seconds. So, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the search command. The search command allows us to search for modules. In this case, we're using the auxiliary and furthermore the scanner. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to say search SSH version. All right. Search SSH version. And again, you can start up the database if you want to, or the PostgreSQL database if you want to, or if not, you can just, you can just let it perform the normal search, which is, again, it's a slow search, but nonetheless, it'll return the results that we want. All right. So just give it a few seconds. It shouldn't take too much time at all. Again, you'd be much better off if you started up the database and you had it properly configured. Right, but I didn't, so I'm sorry about that. Again, it shouldn't take too much time. In fact, it's probably taking quite a while now, but the search results are pretty much standardized. There we are. So we have the search results. Now, what we're going to be using is the auxiliary scanner because we don't want fuzzers. We already discussed what those ones were. We want this auxiliary scanner. All right, so I hope you guys remember the syntax. So we're going to say, so this is the one we're going to be using, the auxiliary scanner SSH version. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the use command to select that one. All right. So use auxiliary. Oops. I should have actually just copied it and oops. Oh my. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just copy it. So just to keep things really simple, because even if it was a scanner, it should have actually detected that itself. So let me just paste that in there. Again, a lot of people ask why I do that with the mouse pointer, and that's just to reinforce the idea of me actually copying and pasting something. Because if I did it with my keyboard strokes, some people would ask me what I did, and there's really not. It's not important that we go through that. So I'm going to hit enter, and there we are. So let me just clear that out, and it's using the scanner SSH version. So essentially it's just getting information about getting information about the target in terms of what SSH version it's running on the SSH port. All right, so we can look at the options that we have here. And as you can see, the port is set to 22, which is the default TCP port. You have the threads, which is what we'll be looking at, and the timeout. So usually the timeout is pretty much okay, but we need to change the threads and the rhost. All right, the rhost is the target address or a range. So you can actually use a range. Okay, but in this case, we're not going to use a range because again, I only have about 3 computers running on my network right now. So, it's probably going to get only like one of them because my SSH ports are all closed on the other computers. So let's set the rhosts like so, and I'm just going to use the Metasploitable 2 target machine 0.1.107, right? And once that's done, we want to set the threads to something quite high, like something like 100. Yeah, that sounds about right. There we are. And finally, once we're ready, all we have to do is hit run, not exploit, because we're not exploiting anything. That's also a mistake that many people make, is they actually go directly for for the exploit command. So just hit run, and there we are. Immediately it's going to return the results. So on that on the Metasploitable 2 machine, we have the SSH version running, SSH version 2.0 OpenSSH. It's running Ubuntu, and the version number is written there. And again, this can be valuable information. You know, you could find exploits related to the version of SSH running, and that's for the exploitation stage, which we'll be getting to. But it's important to know how to use the Metasploit, framework in any way, whether it's the Metasploit console, or you're using the other frameworks, the GUI frameworks, right? So there's a lot of other things that you can do with in terms of information gathering. You can also search for the FTP version, and you can look at other things like sweeping and banner grabbing. But really, that I'm sure if you've done it before, you know, with hacking, you learn information gathering first, and you learn about all the frameworks for gathering information. So I just wanted to show you how to utilize the auxiliary module, where you can use scanners or fuzzers for that matter to gather information about your target. It's really very interesting. So that's going to be it for this video. I thought I'd give you a bit of an introduction and you know, just move you around how to use all of these in a modularized way to perform individual tasks, right? So I hope you guys found value in this video. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, just let me know in the comment section, or you can hit me up on my social networks. And you know, for the latest version, or for the documented version of this video, you can check out my website hsploit.com. There's the latest hacking news there, and you can also get tutorials, you know, different PDFs, guides, just guiding you on your way as you learn hacking. And yeah, thank you so much guys for watching this video. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. And in the next video, we'll be looking at how to use Nessus. All right. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.